Friends, welcome to the November 11th Gladiator Hall. The first thing I should mention is that I don't play Fate Grand Order anymore, so I don't really have anything to do during this. Number two, there were a lot of people who wanted to sponsor this one, because I didn't know who was going to show up. I didn't know if it would be worth sponsoring. The next time, we will be doing a bidding process, an auction for who would like to sponsor this, because I need another way to get rid of all of your hard-earned wealth. The 7 of you, are there 7? No, there's 6, because I'm here. The 6 of you find yourselves lured into a 4-hour-long team-working conference. It starts off with a comedian/professional speech giver, starting off like, well, we're getting started late today, just like Charlene in accounting, am I right? And then there's like some general, oh yeah, late just like Charlene.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, today we're going to break down what synergy and throughput really means and how we can turn you from a team of techs into a tech team. Let's break it down and do a deep dive into what's going on here at the company.
This hurts so bad.
This hurts me IRL.
I feel like Carl has brought a keg with him just for him. So he just like is drinking this keg and he's got those big cheap plastic sunglasses on.
We'll get back to more about the keg. So after 4 hours of torment, you all notice that Linhilder has installed in the Gladiator Hall room a office whiskey dispenser, which will dispense exactly 1 shot to the cubic millimeter of whiskey. However, it does require a thumbprint for each use, so it prevents you from going over your bodily alcohol limit.
I like that. Yeah.
Did Hunter make a mech tech roll to make a bypass?
We'll get to that later. We'll get to it later. Just let me get through with the room first. This Gladiator Hall is quite different than the old one. Now that they've moved to a more permanent private location, the hall has a series of tables folded up in the corner that can be extended and added on. That said, there are numerous empty seats in here. The first one is Astrid's, who is at a match right now. Linhilder is out doing damage control, but she has left a message here indicating that Hunter McGregor should stop trying to lure former personnel into the battlefield to kill them. It doesn't look good for the PR. There is another seat which has black cloth draped over it and the symbol of the Capellan Confederation on it. And finally, there's a seat which has been turned the wrong direction, but it definitely has Jade Falcon green fabric on the seat. That said, the rest of you have personalized chairs, as do the remaining gladiators who haven't been able to join us here tonight. Elizabeth has simply left a box of donuts, the new office whiskey dispenser, and just some table minutes of things that you can talk about. Of course, any of you that didn't watch the most recent episodes may not recognize Carl Delviller. Did anyone miss that yet?
Mm-hmm.
I missed it.
All right, Kane, maybe you want to explain who you are to Glima so he can self-fly into the atmosphere and rage.
So Carl Delviller is about 8.5 feet tall and maybe 600 pounds.
Holy shit.
He's an elemental.
He is a trueborn elemental.
I didn't know he was that big.
And he's trying his best to look like a lumberjack. He's got his hair back in a ponytail, and otherwise he's clean shaven, wearing his cheap plastic sunglasses, and he's been carting around and drinking out of this keg.
Well, Hillbilly will give him a nice little elbow nudge, and you got an extra cup, or?
You are the Hillbilly.
That's me. It's the title anyway. William Schmidt, nice to meet you.
It is pleasing to meet you as well. I have learned since coming here that excess is kind of a norm, so I brought an additional one for everybody else. And he puts another tapped keg in the middle of the table.
Oh, wow.
And a stack of 60 cups.
Dixie cups.
Yes,
You
they're still
are-
in the future.
Red Solo cups.
They are immortal. They will survive until the end of time.
That feels true.
Very generous of you, Star Commander.
Quite thoughtful.
Oh, here it comes. They're
Carl
both
will-
about to start commander each other. Could be like, oh,
Well,
nice,
so
nice
you got my
muscles you
rank
got
wrong,
there.
by the way. I'm a Star Captain, dude.
Yeah. So, since we're here in a private place, Carl will greet you. It is nice to finally meet you, Star Captain Seth Kabrinsky. There has been much talk about you in Ghost Bear
So-
space.
I imagine so. There has been much happening recently.
Yes, this fractured wolves has been interesting.
Well, let us not bore the rest of our comrades with clan politics. I think Seth will go over and pick up the notes that Elizabeth left to see what she wanted us to talk about.
It's just some recent news. The aftermath of the Jacobson contract, the virtual piloting pods, status of the interns, and she'd like you all to record messages for the investors for the next potential, what do we call it? A stable champion vote.
No, Astrid won the last one, right?
Linhilder.
Oh, Linhilder did. Oh,
That's
okay.
why Linhilder is currently out doing damage control, saying Hunter
we
McGregor
go.
does not intend to kill former employees.
She can say all she wants.
Yes, she will say it
God.
all she wants. To create a buffer between the stable and the oncoming legal tsunami.
What do our reports on the
Hold on.
interns say?
You tell me, intern holders. How do you think your interns are doing? Don't ask me. Jesus. Alex
Well, there-
Hellshorses, who even is that guy? I don't know. Some dude who gets the shit kicked out of him? Is he doing good? I don't know.
I do actually have a concern about my intern. Specifically, he is an aerospace pilot, yet we have no aerospace fighters in the stable.
You know, I might be able to ask Elysian Fields to make a donation. They
I was
have
wondering-
aerospace assets.
I was wondering if you might be so kind as to reach out to your captain.
Well, I am a captain, but I understand your
Ah, your major then, or I'm not quite.
Colonel.
Yeah, I'm
All
not
is
quite
well. I
familiar
understand
with-
completely.
Yes, I'm not quite as familiar with the inner sphere rankings as I am with my own.
Even our unit is a strange ranking system, so understandable,
See.
like I said. But I will look into it.
I've actually got similar concerns for Osman. He wants to be a mech warrior, and yet the only machine he has available to him currently is a glorified showpiece.
Mm.
Some
We
new
just lost
hardware
the
would
Zonalar
not.
vote.
Well, I'm a fan of it.
It is an audacious fashion statement, but as far as a machine of battle, it is woefully lacking in that regard.
That's true. I haven't looked at the specs. You might need some work, huh?
I did not realize that was a battle mech intended to be used.
Hard to tell, yeah.
I'm not convinced that it is.
So he
I
got
believe that
himself a weight class target.
He is still uncertain, as the only machine he has ever piloted, I believe, is still the Golden Monstrosity. I would like to put him in something real before he is able to actually make a selection on that regard.
It's true. He has not experienced real movement in that case. So, yeah.
The question I would have is if we have any machines
He
available
can have
that are
some
not
time in
currently in use.
mid-Jenna.
Well,
That's
that would
quite
be
a
most
switch up.
generous of you, friend.
Generous. I'm sorry.
Get out.
Well,
Just leave. You know I love Jenners. This is slander against their name.
No, I'm quite a.
Hey, at least we're not calling the Jenner a glorified showpiece like the.
No.
It's a positive. It was a positive statement.
All right. One or two more things to add, Spoon, for here real quick that I forgot. Yes. Please continue the intern talk, but there's notes that MRMs are now available, having been sourced from the Draconis Combine, and there is a alert out to look out for Clan Wolf personnel now that the Jade Wolves have finished their transition into Wolf. Specifically aimed at you, as you are, bandit.
I'm sorry. It's an alert to look out for
Clan Wolf personnel. They might try to kill you.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, sure.
New Wolf versus Wolf in Exile.
Hey,
when are the rest of the
number
3058 things opening?
All of them opened on January 1st.
I must have missed it when I looked at the investor menu last.
I didn't put all the 3058 stuff in there.
Okay.
So anything that's not selected still isn't available, but things like MRMs are just publicly available at this point.
What about ER mediums?
Sure.
Nice.
Doesn't hurt.
It's important to get every little bit of inner sphere steel you can get.
Chemical large lasers next.
MRM's the true weapon of the Combine. Praise be to the coordinator.
Okay.
Run forward and use MRMs and a sword. That's their battle strategy for the next 30 years or something.
Is there anything else on the docket that's going to make any of us want to, put our heads underneath one of Mr. de Villar's kegs and smash them into bits?
It depends on the performance of some of these interns. We've got a nice little media opportunity happening there. Working through a reproduction of A Knight's Tale.
Well, it can't be any worse than the speech we just had to sit through.
At least there wasn't trust falls.
Oh boy.
You say that and you get an eyebrow from Carl.
Instead of trust falls, he had you do Jenner stance, which is where you help your partner get up without using their arms.
It helps build the core too,
Yeah, it's very, very mech warrior based trust fall.
Yeah.
So the real question is who ended up on their face because they were Carl's partner?
You want to talk some shit about this guy? His left
No,
arm is
I'm
working
saying
fine.
he's a 600-pound elemental. When you push against each other to stand up, he's going to knock the other one over.
He has very
We got 3 people put together, and we all put our backs against his.
Just find the three other biggest mech warriors in the stable. So Adam, Seth, and
Carl would be able to get up on his own. Even without his arms, he'd just do some of that like Yukimi shit or something.
Yeah.
Just sort of put his arms on his head and then stand up and look at everyone like, and?
Is this hard?
Did this in my Sibco.
got to do the jujitsu.
I mean, if my arms get blown off, I have to continue to fight. I mean,
I am trained to do so.
Well, anyone else have any proteges that need assistance?
I think Percy's gonna shape up pretty well. He's got the right flair, I'd say, for Solaris. Whether his mech skills catch up to that or not, I think he's gonna get there. I think growth will happen there.
Well, suppose that just leaves Cosmos.
I do not understand this flair quality in a warrior. What is this?
Only matters here, really.
We like to call it showmanship.
That is a word I am familiar with.
I want to
The
ask
idea of
real
being
quick,
strange and unique to appease the crowd.
did anyone want to join the intern's production of A Knight's Tale?
Oh yeah, Hillbilly will be in there for sure.
Yeah. What character do you anticipate?
Well, I mean,
playing?
since it's his production and he's producing, he's going to probably wind up playing the prince, right? Like,
Oh, the bad guy? I thought we had.
No, not the bad guy. The
the Black Prince, the English.
The one who winds up knighting him in the end.
Yeah.
So who is who are Roland and Watt and Chaucer?
I don't know who Chaucer is yet, but isn't the main character literally Percival, and then the blacksmith is Linhilder? Roe plays the bad guy.
The bad guy, Osmond, is the bad guy.
Osmond's the bad guy. Roe dies in the latrine.
Oh, right. Roe is the old knight. Yes.
Roe is the old
You guys talk about production better than me.
What a way to go.
I assume we can get Osmond on as one of the two comedic duos. You know what I mean?
I think Asator would join the production, like wherever is left, like nothing too large of a role, just one line extra or something.
No, I got you. So the guy who does the announcements after Chaucer does the announcements and switches his style up.
Yeah, he tries to copy his style.
Yeah, okay.
That guy.
That would make sense. Yeah,
I mean, he's famous enough that we remember that scene.
Yeah,
he carried it. He did a good job.
Yeah, he did great.
Do Adam as Chaucer. It's already quoting poetry in half of his matches.
There you go.
Sure.
If he thinks he can step up,
get
that flair.
Wow, when you're revealed as a terrorist, it's really going to curse this production.
Oh man, yeah. It's just one of those things that's hard to watch. And
I was already told I couldn't car bomb the Jade Falcon compound until the end of the season.
Yeah, we're saving that for the final mercenary mission type thing.
Timing is everything. Yeah.
You know, speaking of timing is everything, Asator, all of your pagers/electronic devices flash as you receive news that, having been safely found, ice dust is being returned to the Apex Dragons compound via dropship before being further shuttled back to his waiting husband.
That's amazing. I just picked up an ability that helped me do research in case he wasn't found, because I was going to say Asator's been looking this whole time since he got back.
Your friendly local mafia decided to pitch in and help, and with a few precisely placed bullets,
he doesn't mind how it happened. Yeah.
The package was recovered.
Tony, what a nice guy.
Amazing,
Tony.
yeah.
I mean, look, sometimes you get a big Tony Bertoli that some people like, and other times you get Vasily Wolf, who we're just going to forget ever happened. An old, angry
Vasily Wolf
Russian
was
drunk.
great. Yeah, he was awesome. Do any of you have any perhaps joint marketing ventures that you wish to put forward at this time?
New mixed flavors of Billy Slims. Billy expanded the Carl Del Villa edition. It's an extra fat one meant specifically for the elemental body type. It's like a thumb-sized, foot-long rod of pepperoni.
It's like wristwatch. It's like the summer.
It doubles as a club. It's called the Elemental.
Yeah. It's ready to use in a circle of equals anytime.
That's the marketing tagline.
Do you need to be your best before you enter the circle of equals?
Make hunger your equal.
Hell yeah.
Amazing. Well, that's out of the way. Any other comments? God, we're good at advertising. You know, for a random group of Battletech fans, we get some good stuff.
Yeah,
it's true.
Make hunger your equal. Wow, that's gonna haunt my dreams.
Make hunger your equal. Bargain well and done.
I feel like bargain well and done is he's at the counter exchanging money for the food.
Yeah.
There's the commercial. Done.
It's a new concept for him.
Just it's 8.5 foot tall Carl crouched over a gas station cash register.
You've
It's just like at 7-Eleven trying to get underneath the plastic.
Shaq doing what is it, like the Little Caesars commercials now?
Yeah.
That's basically what this is. Like,
That energy,
Wait, what didn't Shaq work for Papa John's? What happened?
yeah, I don't know.
Oh man.
Somebody cut him a bigger check.
There you go.
Didn't we? Well, this was before my time, but I believe we had. At one point, there was initiatives to start designating gladiators under themes as different dragon types. I seem to remember Kyle Morgan was the first.
Yes, so you have the title
Scrap Dragon.
Yes,
You know your Apex Dragons lore.
Well, I read up on things. I am in a hand-me-down mech after all. I figured I should know a thing or two about the people who passed it to me.
Good idea.
When you say that, the camera tightly zooms in on an empty chair with a black cloth draped over it. It has so many icons on it. Free Worlds League, Clan Morgan. It's confusing. It's confusing.
Solaris.
It's a NASCAR
It's a long
vehicle.
plaque.
No. It has the Gladiator's nationality on it, so it's just Free Worlds League and Clan Morgan. But Clan Morgan is like weird because we never really established what exactly it looks like. Anyway,
it sounds like they were a legal entity for a while, though.
Yeah, they were. Right up until they died.
Yeah, that'll happen.
The question is what must be done in order to rekindle something like that? I believe that is the sort of thing that would perhaps lend some unified vision or image between us, at the very least.
But I've heard something about
like
an underwater match.
Yep. There might
am
be
all for
something in
that,
the
too.
works for a certain crab man.
I understand that many of us do not get along on a personal level, but I believe that something like this would make it easier, at the very least, in promotional material to both stand together and stand apart from each other.
By the way,
agree.
AP, when you opened Hillbilly's episode and said, I'm not going to say who it is because I don't want to tip it off, but I saw what was in the title, I really thought you were going to have rad guests.
No. I didn't want to tell Ludeman until I was ready. As you know, I've recently been tweeting about how Clan Wolf should have been called Clan King Crab. I mean, they already have coyotes, right? You don't need two Lupin.
It's a fair statement.
I believe, Adam, that the previous Scrap Dragon title was conceived of by our investors and was set as a challenge.
Maybe there's a way we can invite them to challenge us again in new ways. You know,
So I'll look at the camera
maybe
at the
make it a
same
back
time.
and forth.
All right, everyone looking at your cameras. I can't see because I'm looking at my camera. All right, I think we're done. Look, minimum level memeing tonight from me. All right, I don't have fake grand order. I gotta stay involved.
And then I think there is some talk of reaching high enough rank to be entered into the grand tournament next year for those of us who are not in class 6.
That's a goal. That's for sure. We can maybe do some negotiations to get a few extra ranks with each match. I don't know, something of that nature. I do happen to know quite a few folks in quite a few places. So if anybody's looking for a particular match set up, I could assist in that arena.
Well, cheers to you all. And if you ever want me to stand you around at the Shield Hall.
What a dick. You guys want to join us? You can come sit at my seat. You know, Hunter,
Not all of us can be unlimited.
it's a great time for someone to knock on the door and a tech comes in delivering a same-day delivery package for you.
Is there a return address?
There is not.
Oh. I'm assuming by now Hunter's broken the electronic lockouts on the whiskey, so he's feeling good. He'll open it up.
Inside is a flag of the Lyran Alliance, and written on it in blood, it says, "I know what you did."
Well, isn't this cheerful?
Adam just walks over and looks over Hunter's shoulder at it.
That blood's pretty fresh.
That ain't good.
Apparently, I have a secret admirer.
Yeah, whatever it means, it's not a happy thing.
Ooh, we're gonna want to notify some police on that one or something.
That's always worked well for the stable.
Yes, I think perhaps first we should secure the compound, and I think as I think I'm gonna be bowing out here, Seth will go alert security and begin, operations to make sure that nobody's here, like waiting to murder Hunter.
He steps outside, Goss rifle from the roof.
Yeah, from the trio of Jade Falcon elementals that no one knows about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was like the saddest part at the end of the episode. Was like, this just died with me.
Yeah, it was realizing that information was no longer viable. But all right, have a good night, guys.
You too, man.
Have a good night, Spoon. Thanks for joining us.
I wonder if this is related to the men who shot Rommel.
Does have a ring to it.
Done anything to piss off? Oh, what is her name? Catherine, or was it Katrina? I seem to get. They use both. I never tell which is the real one.
No more than what I do in the ring.
Yeah, if you're shaking that far up the tree, then
Does Hunter McGregor piss people off? Question mark.
I'd say I have kind of a contentious personality. You all know.
Oh, you're part of the separatist movement, aren't you?
I don't know that it's so much of a movement. We've already taken over.
No.
Yeah.
That very well could be it.
But what you did sounds like a specific phrase to use, like they're pointing at some event. So, somebody knows something.
Kill anyone we don't know about.
Conspiracies going on around you, like people spreading rumors.
I mean, no more than the usual. I've killed a number of gladiators in the ring. And
what was that most recent kilt launch you had that didn't go so well? Maybe that's what they're talking about.
And a number of clansmen out on the periphery. So,
sure, Hunter, can you roll 2d6 plus entertainment real quick? I want to see how good you are at lying about this.
That's a 6.
Y'all know. Y'all know this motherfucker knows what he did. Lying to you. He's lying.
Got like a strained face.
Yeah. You want to play poker?
There's not
with
much
this man.
we can do to help you if we don't have more info to go on.
I wouldn't worry about it.
You're a survivor.
Okay.
I get much stranger hate mail than this.
Really?
Fair.
I mean, I'm assuming that bit is actually Hunter telling the truth.
Probably.
Sure.
Yeah, you probably showed us some of it over the years. Wow, look at this one.
Well, Carl, you've only been here a couple days, so how you finding the stable so far? Any questions, concerns, things you want to ask about?
I think it is commendable that, given the friction with Clan Jade Falcon, none of you chose to abandon each other.
This would hardly be the first time the Jade Chickens came squawking.
And it's not the first time that a common enemy has kind of brought us together.
The Jade Chickens.
Isn't that
see.
the truth? And I think at that, Hunter kind of mournfully salutes Kyle's empty chair with his glass.
I join you in that.
That Kyle Morgan, You know he was spoken of in Ghost Bear Space.
Really?
Spoken of well, we hope anyway.
Sometimes well, sometimes not. Certainly an unusual character.
Can agree.
You do understand that his status as Clan Morgan was recognized by Clan Ghost Bear.
Yeah, I recall that.
It is unfortunate that I cannot meet him.
Aye, that it is.
Yeah, tough.
Well, by the way of your traditions, he died in a circle of equals.
Yes.
As far as I can tell, that's as close to you get is a good thing.
I have tried to learn more about him, and I have watched this this movie, this Icarus movie. How much
Billy slowly slides a DVD back into his pocket that he was
Tell me, how much of that is fact and how much of that is fiction?
That's 100% a true story. Some of the things get embellished a little bit along the way, but yeah, you can look at that as pretty historical.
Very interesting.
So he didn't actually sprout wings and fly into the sun when he died. That's the embellished part.
The poster's the part that didn't happen. Yeah.
I have to say, given the reputation that Kyle Morgan received in Ghost Bear Space, that is part of the reason why I chose this stable. I am interested to see if the rest of you live up to the reputation that he earned.
Here's hoping. We'll keep trying. We're lucky to have you, though. You're certainly making a splash.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah, we're a motley crew, all right.
I do have questions about this entertainment part of the job. This is something new to me.
I had to learn that too, the hard way, really.
Think like a diamond shark. That's not too offensive to you.
Why think like a diamond shark?
Appearances matter.
Well, if you're looking to get a little bit of a brush up on the territory, let's bring in on the rehearsals and see if we can find a part for you in the production we're putting together for the interns.
I see. That is the Knight's Tale that you are producing.
Yeah, exactly.
I would be interested to use that as an opportunity to learn more.
Plays the mountain from Game of Thrones, doing like a cinematic universe cameo at the end. Have you heard of the Throne Initiative? No.
Adam just leans over to Hillbilly and just says, "Do you even have a horse that big?"
No, we wind up using him as fill in for statues in the background and perspective and things.
Posing model. Yeah.
In the post-credit bloopers, he plays the horse.
We want to make the scene look like the characters are further away, so we need you to stand right next to them, and it'll look like they're further than we have space for.
Exactly.
Lord of the Rings style.
Yeah, no, Carl's totally down, and he'll follow. If you, whatever you're like, hey, no, stand here and try this or do whatever, he'll do. He seems very interested to learn about all the facets.
Imagine you have a stomach ache. Make that face.
Yeah, he rolls with it.
Well,
right.
Gentlemen.
Just for more emergency alerts, you all get a notice that the Draconis Combine is invading the Federated Suns planet of Town, which is a major manufacturing planet.
Huh.
Well,
A bit strange. I guess
You think
the houses
war
are
is
getting comfortable
strange in the
enough.
Battletech universe?
No. It sounds like the houses are getting comfortable enough to attack each other instead of bolster against the clans again.
Yeah, looks like all the internal politics going on with the clan certainly has unleashed a little bit.
I do find some interest in the nations that chose to separate themselves from the great houses, but it does appear that the great houses do what we remember them always doing.
Yes, that part of your history is correct.
It's all a game to them.
Adam just sits there quietly with his Sungjiang wakizashi on the table.
Slight breeze rolls through the room, in the process turning Cosmo's chair. On it, sitting in like a Futurama brain tank, is a lobster. As the chair turns, it comes to look at all of you.
But was that there the whole time?
Yes.
Is anyone
The
supposed
hair
to
stand up on the back of my neck.
It seems like a very woke lobster. Watch out.
What were you saying?
He would have taken that with him to Helgoland.
Oh, you were supposed to keep those things in tanks.
Might not know this, but animals don't make the transition through hyperjumps very well. And interestingly enough, AI go insane immediately after hyperspace jumps through the KF drive. Does weird things to the mind.
Fascinating.
Maybe that's why we all can't stop killing each other.
That's a theory.
We're all just slightly cracked from all the jumps. Yeah, could be.
The lobster continues to stare, slowly floating up and down. Hunter, I gotta ask, is the flag still on the table in front of you?
The bloody
one covered in blood?
I would have thought
Souvenir.
that Seth would have taken it with him to do his.
I just want to keep as much
Security
weird
officer
shit in
sense.
this room as possible.
Well, gentlemen, I do have the lingering question that I'm sure is on many of our minds of what, if anything, is to be done about all these threats being made against us.
You know,
Seth
so
and
far
I
they've
intend to end one of them, two of them.
Aside from the threats made by Jade Falcon, I'm unaware of other threats made against the stable.
Those are the
Points
threats to
at
which I'm
flag.
referring.
Whoa. Real
Primarily.
quick here. Those threats were not made by the Jade Falcons. They were made by the Grand Council Kurultai of the clans against Seth.
That's a little bigger.
Yeah.
It's an interesting involvement. Like, Carl's not saying anything about it, but he does find it interesting that the things happening here on Solaris are include Apex Dragons and not just Seth. So he's trying to feel out anything additional about it.
Well, I
Seth's
was
not
going
the
to
only
put
fuck
forward.
up here.
Since all of the gladiators are, all of the active gladiators are a bit busy with their careers, and I'm mostly just doing, I just finished doing a tour of the book signings for Urbi Incarnation, fifth anniversary omnibus, actually. So those are the kinds of things I've been up to lately. What I'm saying is I have time. I can research into any of these threats, really. I've got time.
Yeah, we definitely could use at least somebody who's actively looking at what we're being looked at for. So hop right in.
Yeah, wouldn't be my first counterinsurgency op.
Yeah. Nobody's going to be too upset about that. So far the Jade Falcons, they haven't spilled those threats outside of the arena too much, not directly against Apex Dragons as
That's
a
true.
whole yet. I'm hopeful it sticks
seems
that
like
way.
they are the one group I would factor in them not caring about that for long. Most people, I would say, they'll stay to their zone, but Jade Falcons don't stay to their zone. Well, Adam and I just got back from fighting clans who didn't stay in their zone for years. So, yeah.
So at some point in this time frame, like I feel like Hillbilly would have had like a lunch with Vimy, and has Vimy sort of let him know, of ill intent coming off the battlefield, right? The arena, and yeah, he's like, they're gunning, it's happening. Like
the Jade Falcons are definitely going to kill Seth for sure.
I would
that murderous intent.
I would emphasize some caution and awareness. The Jade Falcon are not known to be patient, and their task is unfinished. If you choose to stand between them and Seth Kabrinsky, I would expect that you will find yourselves on a battlefield with them at some point.
Yeah. I won't turn down that fight, that's for sure. What about you, Carl, though? That fight presents itself. You got our backs? Or, I mean, you're fresh, you're new. I understand some trepidation there.
I prefer to wait and see what is or isn't going to happen. I have signed a contract and given my word that I am a member of Apex Dragon. So I will, if the stable is attacked, then I will align myself to defend the organization I have sworn to. But I will do so as a member of Apex Dragons, not as a member of the Tumen of the Ghost Bear.
Fair enough.
Well, there's the literal
Jinx.
elephant out of the room.
There's a knock on the door.
Hunter opens it.
It's Ro.
Ro.
Gregor.
Hello.
If you'll excuse me, I believe someone left a lobster in this room.
Hillbilly's face has kind of been slowly drifting closer and closer to the tank of the lobster this whole time, and he looks up. Oh, yeah, it's right here.
William, please don't put your face against the glass. It upsets the creature.
Was it? I don't know. It calls to me.
Yes, the techs have been taking care of it while he's gone. Someone left it in here during last cleaning. If you'd like to admire it, you'll find it in the command center for the next 8 hours.
Good to know. I feel soothed by it.
Said that it is the wisest lobster of Solaris. I don't know how much I trust Cosmo's judgment of that. There is something to it. If I was a medical doctor, I would study its genetic code. As he says that, he picks it up and he licks his chops while looking at it.
Oh no.
Starts walking out of the room with it.
Concern.
He's a man who just likes lobster, You can't appreciate some good seafood.
In what way, though? Is this lobster going to last?
That crustacean.
Adam just picks up his phone and says, I'm ordering crab cakes. Does anybody want any?
I'll take two.
Absolutely.
I do not believe I have had the pleasure of trying one of those yet.
Oh, you'll love it.
So he orders a bunch of
and then
crab
Hunter
cakes.
Fonzie's the whiskey machine and fills up another pint glass.
I have a question for some of you.
Indeed.
In this potential conflict between the stable supporting Seth Kabrinsky, as I understand, some of you crossed the truce line and fought clan warriors.
Yes.
That I did.
Aye.
I find it curious then that you would choose to defend one.
It's
Well,
I suppose it's a matter of intention.
it's a tough thing, but
That's the nature of Scottish tradition. When we're not fighting each other, we're fighting everybody else. Sorry, don't let me put words in your mouth. Please go ahead.
That's like the janitor from The Simpsons.
war makes for
Goddamn Scots.
strange alliances, ever shifting. Definitely something I learned on the front. But at the end of the day, we're all family here at Apex Dragons. Seth and I may never be friends, but we share a bond, and we both understand justice and vengeance. And where those two come together, there can be forged an alliance.
For a man who has said what you have about the clans, I find that opinion most interesting. You interest me, Hunter McGregor.
There's the clans and there's a clanner. You know what I mean, Carl? Like, people are both the things that they pay loyalty to and you know, the things that they choose, right?
Yeah.
And
there's a
Seth
certain
is
kinship.
And one of the things that, you know, since you've said you're interested in the showmanship side of it, I say a lot of things in the arena that I might not personally agree with 100%.
Hunter, I want to ask a question here. Is it canon that you personally melted down a Highlander 2C just to spite the clans?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that
I feel like
yes, that has happened before. By the time of this episode, we didn't get to it in my episode last with Eric, but
he's like, I don't really believe in everything that I say, and then we watch him like, yeah, die, bitch.
She's just really good at method acting.
like a 2-hour-long video that you shot.
Not only that, Seth helped me do it.
Okay.
Seth and I and the good friends at Ruin Industrial.
Someone's gonna get a lot of armor out of that.
Yeah.
Carl, you and Seth
Actually,
would hardly
do you want to do a flashback to that scene, and that way we don't have to do it in the episode?
No, because Seth isn't here. We'll do it during your Seth-isode.
Okay.
Nice.
Carl, you and Seth would hardly be the first enemies that I fought beside. My father was killed by Davians in 3039. I spent my entire life thinking that I was going to spend my life killing Davians. Then the clans invaded. I didn't spend my life killing Davians. I spent it killing clanners.
I'd like you to make an entertainment roll to see how well you lie to everybody here.
I find it interesting that it's entertainment, not instinct.
I know, right? I know.
I don't. Okay, here I'll grab these black dice because they're the closest I'm going to get to Word of Blake.
Yep, those are Word of Blake dice.
Yep. Yeah, that's about on par. So I'm actually going to edge that.
Okay.
Do we have? Oh, we have Edge in this episode.
I'll allow it. It ended exactly.
Oh, Lamau.
Listen, when you hear him talking about his father dying, fighting Davians, it sounds like a story. It doesn't sound like someone talking about their personal history. It sounds like Smash telling you about how he's getting ready to transform back into non-evil Smash. It's a story that you're being told. You're being fed bullshit.
So would Hillbilly call him out on this, right? Like, say, you know, you Adam, you and Percy might have a little more in common.
Wow, what an
I'm
insult.
certainly no boxer.
He tagged you good a couple times there. That was that was something.
I'm more of a knife kind of guy anyway.
Spider sense is tingling.
I have been
I
coming
mean,
to
Hunter's
learn-
also not who he says he is, so he's not
Right.
going to call Adam out on this.
I'm like that guy in the corner at a party meme. Like, they don't know I'm like, they don't know I know who he is. But, you know.
Oh, do you actually know? No.
He's the one that got him
I
an
don't know
identity.
the
That's
lower
right, that's
level of
right.
who he is. I don't know that part. You are right. There's too many levels to this. Asator can't keep up with that.
That's funny.
I have found the ways that loyalty work here to be a somewhat interesting study. But it is good to hear that you have some loyalty to your own, even if they are a clanner.
Friendship and family.
Chosen family.
Mercenaries don't generally make a habit of breaking contracts. Tends to make our business difficult.
Ain't that the truth?
Reputation is everything. Especially here. It carries over well.
Trust me, I really wanted to keep that mech, but I couldn't turn my back on inner sphere steel.
Could have at least let us strip it down for parts first.
I know, right? Some of us don't mind.
Yeah,
using
but I
those
knew
clan
that this
guts.
would infuriate the two falcons and force them into the box with us, and so there you go.
It did work.
It did well.
Whatever it's worth.
It is interesting that the clans do seem to have a number of very specific actions that get under their skin very quickly. Simply by piloting a Rakshasa, I was able to enrage and draw the fire of every single clanner within 6 miles.
That was always very funny.
Simply because it looked like a bastardized version of a Mad Cat, and all of them thought it sacrilege.
There are a number of clans with hotter tempers.
I think we were arrayed against most of them, and not the cooler tempered ones.
Smoke Jaguars and Jade Falcons, for the most part.
Exactly.
Carl just nods.
Well,
All
gentlemen,
right, Linhilder pops in, looks at the whiskey dispenser and goes, McGregor, what the fuck did you do?
She just knows.
McGregor comes over and puts another cup under it and fancies it and hands the glass to Linhilder.
You think that was cute or something?
It stopped serving me, so, I made a quick modification.
He's literally got 2 kegs on the table right there. Why would you need to break the whiskey machine?
Didn't break it. It's pouring out whiskey perfectly.
Do you know how hard it took me to convince Elizabeth to get one of these for you?
And I appreciate it. It just needed a little fine-tuning.
I don't expect anything out of you, Carl Delviller, but the rest of you, I would think, should have had the better sense. This is very disappointing.
You do know I'm a mech tech. This is what I do.
It's not about breaking or fixing it. It's about disabling a critical piece of company technology.
is that what he was doing?
I've
Funny,
never tried
I
to
feel like
control
that's what I
anyone here.
do every time I step into the ring now, isn't it?
Aren't we the most critical piece of company technology?
William, I expected so much better from you.
Come
So
on
much
now,
better.
Lynn.
All right.
It's just a fun day.
Is there any business that needs to be discussed with me, the stable champion? Also, welcome, Mr. Delviller.
I think
I have been pleased to be as welcomed as I am.
Yes,
I
you
think
should know
Asator
that this
says,
level of drinking is not appropriate at company events.
not usually. Yeah.
No, it should be way more.
This is normal.
You should see what we do in the Northwind events.
The Billy Jim's retreats are just way more wild than this.
It was my understanding that gatherings like this were typically filled with some sort of excess.
Where did you learn Inner Sphere Customs from?
I attempted to read some before arriving to be better prepared.
Which documents did you peruse by chance?
And he spouts off a few like really random intel report type things that are clearly like we were spying on these people
Alpha,
for
Kappa, Alpha, campus fraternity recruiting papers.
I think
like all the things he lists off make no sense with each other, and they're definitely either outdated or super slanted.
like Asator at this point can tell how mad she is, and he just he says under his breath in Swedenese to Linhilder, I'll fix the machine later.
Right, you're probably the only other person in this room that speaks Swedenese. All right, so she says back, I just hoped that we wouldn't devolve into this childishness once again, this sophomoric content. I was expecting better from all of you.
Enjoy your time in the driver's seat, Lynn.
Well, you might be right. I just say you might be right. Maybe we're having a little too much of a reminiscence.
Well, I can understand wanting to reminisce after the death of a colleague.
We can leave it at that and hope it doesn't continue.
Yes, Mr. McGregor, I understand that I will probably not continue to be stable champion. That said, I wanted to use my time to utilize as many programs to extend our media reach as possible. You, at least, did a commendable job of doing that minimum level of effort.
That almost sounded like a compliment. Cheers to you.
Stop trying to kill people. Make a lot of things much easier for corporate.
I never have to try.
That's hard to keep a straight face too.
All right, she just leaves.
Well, gentlemen, the night is young, and it seems we are out of business. And we have a new arrival in town who is looking to accrue a bit of the local culture.
Cracked canopy?
Cracked canopy.
All right, I'm going to give you two options for the ending. One, all of you leave together to go to the cracked canopy. Two, Osman in socks and a extended length t-shirt moonwalks into the doorway and starts you on a night you will never forget. Going down the Solaris' main boulevard. Choose your path carefully. Take majority wins.
I vote for the cracked canopy.
Ah.
If you do the crazy night shortly after
the
it
risky
begins,
business,
Carl will have his fill and leave.
Yeah, the crack canopy would definitely see Asator hanging out for longer. Yeah.
Adam doesn't
we'll
even
head that
drink,
way.
so the cracked canopy at least has mech simulators.
Ooh, true.
Right. Here I was trying to Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Who's the guy who
Adam knows better than follow Osman anymore.
Wow. I hear dice rolling. Who's rolling? Why?
I'm just doing it just to mess
The
with
rock
people.
and roll clown.
Okay. All right.
Plus, I like to push buttons.
That's yeah. Okay. Is there anything else anyone would like to cover?
I think Carl would want to be asking people, everyone that goes to the crack canopy about, I guess, general mech warrioring questions like, where did you learn? Tell me some of the things that you have learned from your most worthy opponents. Like, and the way that he phrases it is very much from the position of somebody who isn't asking as like a fellow mech warrior.
What is
Like,
the
there's
best
that
way to
tonality.
disable the particular style of mech that you are piloting?
Hello, fellow mech warriors.
Can you tell me the quirks with this particular design?
But there's a lot of like
man.
mech on mech tactics type questions that he's asking. And there's a sense that he's asking these from the frame of somebody who's used to fighting mechs in a very different way.
Well, that's fair. Yeah.
The final scene of the night is the 5 of you returning in various levels of intoxication to the compound. As this happens, the camera pulls back to reveal that a Jade Falcon elemental with a ER small laser is watching through his cockpit canopy. Slowly focuses in on Hunter McGregor as it zooms, and then it goes off to Carl Delviller, and we hear the Jade Falcon elemental say, "That's right. Here." That's it.
Oh boy. Is it too late to make a research roll? I
Go
wasn't
ahead. What do you
kidding
want
when
to
I said I
research?
wanted
What
to.
do you want to research?
I feel like Asator, when getting the word from Hillbilly, would start doing the same type of research that he would do when about to do like a siege mission where he has to dig out infantry in a city, but against the Jade Falcon compound. So, just a lot of looking at the way things are laid out in aerial footage and guessing where nests would be formed by, well, the elementals he's had to dig out before.
All right, but I won't. So that won't get you the elementals that are watching your compound. It will tell you about
That makes
their
sense. I
defensive
don't need
measures.
a metagame.
Okay.
But yeah.
Go ahead, make a roll.
Okay. Well, one of the moves I took is to succeed with a 10 plus on a research roll.
Okay.
With the spending of a glory, which I have 1.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to spend that glory. I don't get really many chances to spend glory. So,
2 questions.
Okay. God, that's okay.
You get
That's a tough
open-ended
one.
questions here. And poll the audience, although our audience is very local.
Are you saying to hold on to have answered later?
No. These 5 guys to the audience.
Okay. Whew, okay. I was like, oh man, we could come up with some really good ones if we wait that long. But okay.
Yeah, but you only have
all
like
right,
2
guys.
minutes.
Yes. Yeah. I figured. I know I'm doing this real last minute. I meant to squeeze it in before the scene. This is a post scene, I guess. But what do you think, guys? What's important to know in a more general sense about their threat to us or whatnot?
I mean, it would be nice to know what their composition of forces are.
Yeah, I was gonna say like met count style and
Yeah,
elemental
yeah.
totals.
Force
And,
composition.
Because even if they won't necessarily commit them all, we'll have a better understanding of their options.
Yeah, I feel like that's something we could find out by studying for sure is force composition. So yeah, we could do that. And then
And we could know like how many mech warriors they have, what battle mechs they have, how many elementals are stationed there. Do they have any like Salama infantry? How many techs they have, their supply lines. Like that's all part of force composition.
yeah, the
2
TOE.
questions.
What is their force composition?
Yeah, what's their TONE?
That's a real big question.
I feel like that's outside the scope of this particular. I'll
Give me their entire Toman.
I'll give you this. They seem to be having trouble with the new clan wolf. Right, so they captured a wolf dropship. It became a wolf and a jade wolf dropship, and now it's a real wolf dropship again. And since the 2 dropships were parked next to each other, now they have to be separated because Clan Wolf is now an enemy of the Jade Falcons again. That said, there's at least a nova of forces. 5 or more mechs, mostly Omni-mechs, and then 25 plus elementals. And a Union C dropship.
Yeah, that's a nice chunk. I think like just the other thing that Asator would instinctively look for, but weigh in on this with me, guys, is just like I know I won't be able to find out specific positions, but I really think he would at least start looking for where he thinks the elemental forces would want to move out to if they ever spilled out of the compound.
Adam points out an apartment building to you that is about a block and a half away from the compound.
I mean,
that has a really good sight line.
I mean, Carl would be.
There was an explosion there recently, actually.
Carl would be fine telling you about his experiences with Jade Falcon elemental tactics. He's not going to talk about Ghost Bear elemental tactics, but he'll talk about the things he's observed Jade Falcon.
Oh yeah.
So you definitely identify several locations, one of which has the actual elemental nest. But you don't have the perspicacity to detect. However, you do know that they really like attacking from above. And so you know to look out for elementals leaping off of tall buildings after scouting you. There's nothing scarier than a mech cockpit suddenly rattling with the shattering impact of the glass from above, and then a missile launcher pointed directly towards your face.
Yeah.
A hand reaching through your cockpit glass to rip you out of your seat.
Investors,
had a few experiences like that.
If anybody asks to see Carl's codex, his final battle in his trial for blood name was against a mech warrior he pulled out of the cockpit.
That must have been a brave mech warrior to fight for a Del Villar name. Jesus.
Yep.
How did he make it to the final round?
He just kept winning the choice for augmented.
Yeah, I was gonna say he probably won mech 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
You think that's crazy? Elemental versus aerospace fighter is absolutely insane.
Oh my god.
I would also, just for narrative purposes, in case it comes up later, state that Carl does keep a gnome battle armor.
Wow, look at this motherfucker over here. Sure. Gnome bat. What are you, a hell's horses? Get out of here.
Hey,
Get
investors.
out of here.
He won it in general.
If any of you want Osman's mech to be a Komodo KIM-2, that would be great. It's 3058 available now.
Oh yeah, I like Komodos.
Let's just give Osman a bunch of medium lasers. He'll be fine.
Yeah, that's the one that's basically like an inner sphere version of a Nova Prime. Or a Nova Prime, exactly.
It's an anti-elemental machine.
Yeah.
All right. Any closing words, friends, for our sponsors at home, our patrons?
Are we doing our pitch deck now?
Yeah, you gotta do it quick though. 30 seconds elevator pitch. Give me what you got.
Investors, I'd like to think that I did well as champion. I got us all these goods from Jacobson. Love to serve it again.
What was that, AP?
I said, who's next?
I know I've got no pitch. I'm just here. I just basically say support these guys. That's it.
I'm adding you to the
That's
vote.
been my
We'll
job
see
for
who votes
years
you.
now.
I mean, can you imagine though? You give an epic 30-second speech and you get voted stable champ.
Right?
Oh yeah, I
It
guess
could
that's
happen.
true.
We got Lindhilder, we got Astro.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
You've got all that,
Yeah,
you've got all
that's
that, all that time you spend traveling. You could spend, saving us from ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do go on a lot of like little tours around Solaris already, so it wouldn't be new in that front. I mean, I would be a more, I guess I'd be one of the most neutral people to become stable champion yet, if you guys are so willing. I'm definitely back around and able to do cameos and actually show up as maybe a chiding, a wagging finger at the occasional misstep by us, or just a guest.
Absolutely.
So there's my maybe pitch. It's all up to you guys.
Carl, I want to hear yours. I want to hear it real bad.
Well, brand new character. I hope those of you watching are enjoying this introduction to this new over-the-top personality. If you enjoy it, I have enjoyed the messages I have received from people. If you'd like to support Carl in game, please send me ideas. I would love to leverage his inexperience with Intersphere culture for your entertainment.
Good point.
Also, if you just want to see a gorilla-sized man wander around and do things.
Gorilla-sized man orders falafel.
All right, you just started a new YouTube channel. Hillbilly, what do you got?
Well, shoot, y'all know William Schmidt. He's the Billy of the Hill. You like the hunchback. You like the big guns. That's what he's all about. But, we do have an open medium mech purchase on there. So if you want to throw something crazy at him, he'll run around in it, see what it looks like. Feel free. And we've got, a few interns there that could use some mechs to play around with as well. So, whether it's the stable champion or some extra purchases, just get out there, have fun.
All right, Varen, it's been a while since you've won this, but give us your best. I'm gonna commit terrorist actions to your name pitch.
Investors, do you like espionage? Do you like speed? Do you like being on the cutting edge? Then perhaps
Cosmo.
then perhaps Adam Kaseki is the stable champion for you. Unlike Cosmo, it does not matter the day of the week. I will still be winning.
Oh my god. Dunamis destroyed in one sentence. Wow. I really do
AP
try
brought
to
a
schedule
specialized map and a specialized mech against me and a 25-ton advantage.
Yeah,
And that man
don't
was
worry.
left in a smoking heap.
I'm gonna do it to
Comstar
Hunter as well.
sucks. Comstar sucks. Blake's will be done.
Hunter's about to hit the LRM only portion of the campaign. That's it. Have a good night. Or have a good time zone, friends at home.